Hello everyone and welcome back to the Diary of an Endodontist. So have you ever received a case where you don't know where the pain is coming from? So your patient comes in pain, you do all the possible tests, but you still can't figure out where the pain is coming from? So stay with me because I'm going to show you a very interesting case. This case was referred to me. The patient was in pain coming from the lower right quadrant. He didn't know where the pain was coming from, so he couldn't pinpoint where the pain was coming from. We did the tests and both teeth were tended to percussion, both vertically and horizontal. There was no deep periodontal pocket in either of those teeth, no swelling, no redness. Well, the x-ray didn't help that much, so you could perhaps think about, let me just put my mouse here, you could think about that there is a little bit of shortening of the root here in the distal margin. Short root fillings, silver points, they didn't go to the end of the root, but the lamina dura here is intact. We don't know about this one. There is a little bit of discontinuity perhaps, difficult to say. So what to do in those cases? What can you do? So the best thing to do is if you have the ability to take a three-dimensional scanner, because without that you end up thinking, shall I retreat both teeth? Shall I do nothing? The patient will carry on being in pain. So there are things that you can do, and the main thing is to take a three-dimensional scanner. When you take the 3D, if there is any apical pathology, like in this case here, you will see, it will show to you. It's a lot easier for you to understand where the problem is coming from and also to communicate with your patient. Because once they see that, you say this is normal and this is not normal and why the radiolucency around of the root, they can understand where the problem is coming from. And in fact, it's so funny, sometimes they say, oh, do you know what? Yeah, I could tell that sometimes it's the last one that hurts a bit more. So once you spot the problem, then you will see if you can retreat that tooth. Silver points can be quite tricky, but it's worth a try. Try to retreat it because what you need to do is don't drill completely, because sometimes they are standing out a little, sticking out of the coronal part, where you can grab that with a pair of tweezers and just pull that out. So sometimes it's possible, but it is tricky. But the main thing is to understand where the problem is coming from and indicate the best treatment plan, even if you can't do that. I understand it can be quite tricky, mainly to rely on periapical radiographs only, because sometimes it doesn't show anything, and it doesn't mean that the problem is not there. We normally say that the problem sees you, you don't see the problem, so if you don't have a better technology. So remember that in your next cases.